Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Friday. Welcome to Vacaville, California. We're here at Tom Zunino Stadium. I'm Stephen Babb, joined by Miles Perry and Brian Nelson. Tonight, your Vacaville Bulldogs will be playing host to the Burbank Titans. Now, Miles, what do you look for out of Vacaville this evening?
Well, a high-powered wing tee offense, home run ability at any time. Two guys I'd like to highlight in this game. Devin Mills on the defensive end. This guy's a nose to the ball type of guy. He can make a tackle anywhere on the field. He has good hustle, good potential ability. And on the offensive end, we have Nick Smith, number 3. This guy, he's not a home run type of guy, but he's able to get the yardage you need in order to get a first down.
That sounds good. Now, the Burbank Titans are coming in maybe a little undermanned, but they definitely have a lot of fight in them. Brian, what do you look to see from the Titans tonight?
I expect a hungry Titans squad, as they've had two narrow defeats on their short 2018 season, both to Christian Brothers and Sheldon High School, losing by 1 point in both games respectively. So expect them to come out, try to upset the Vacaville Bulldogs here in their home opener, and expect a ton of activity for their stud running back, Taniela Fisalau, and he has 300 yards rushing in only 2 games, so expect them to rely heavily on him.
Fisalau definitely was fantastic in their last 2 games. Now, something to note, last week against Sheldon High, Lavelle Bailey went out late in the game with a concussion, so we'll see if he has passed protocol and will be able to make it for a start in today's game. Now, we're looking at an 0-2 matchup between the Vacaville Bulldogs and the Burbank Titans. I'm Stephen Babb for Miles Perry and Brian Nelson. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. Vacaville here to kick it off in the beginning of the first quarter. Burbank set to receive. Number 4, Brandon Talton, to do the honors for Vacaville. The kick is off, and it looks like it's going to the left and out of bounds.
There you get a good look at the leg on Talton. The senior kicker showed a really strong leg last year for the Vacaville Bulldogs, so not a surprise to me that he would send the opening home kickoff into the end zone for a touchback.
Definitely a lot of excitement here in the air. Vacaville definitely want to do make a good showing here on their first night at home.
Yeah, absolutely a packed house and the dog pound, I would say, for the Vacaville Bulldog faithful. But the Titans look to try to get something started early with their spread offense, starting with 3 wide receivers early on.
Absolutely. This Titan team is very impressive as they get ready to start the game off with their offensive snap to number 1, Lavelle Bailey.
An early little substitution for the Titans. Looks like Quincy Wright the second had a little maybe an equipment thing.
Yeah, Brandon Cooper in for Quincy, wide out left. The snap, fake handoff to 22 in the middle, and he's running. Oh, breaks a tackle, going down the sideline.
And there's that man, Devin Mills, on the tackle, chasing him down, but after the big game.
Yeah, Mills did a great job of chasing him down, but Burbank really exploited the Vacaville defense early on with that play-action pass. It was a wide-open go route from the slot receiver there for Burbank, and a huge play to start out this game.
Absolutely. A great catch and run by Malik Trice to put the Titans in very good field position early in the game. High snap, handed off to number 5, breaks the tackle and pushes the line back a couple yards. That was Daniela Fisalau on the carry.
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit in the pregame. His stats on the year: 41 carries for 303 yards, 3 of the 7 rushing touchdowns for the Titans. Staying with this spread offense, 4 wide receivers and Fisalau in the backfield.
And another handoff to Fisalau. He gets caught at the line of scrimmage and pushed back for, looks like a 1, maybe 2-yard loss.
And the Bulldogs sniffed that one out from the jump. Number 81 on the tackle.
Yeah, I think it's actually 51 Nash Clegg.
Nash Clegg.
Starting defensive tackle.
Excuse me.
That brings us to 3rd down and 5 to go for the Titans as they come up to the line.
Very quick pace from this Titans offense early.
Absolutely, working with 2 slot receivers. Fisalau in the backfield. Fake handoff to Fisalau. Bailey back. And he decides to keep it himself, running back around the left. And a great pickup out to the 25-yard line. Good for a 1st down for the Titans.
A little hesitation move there from Bailey. Really got Clayton Watterson off balance because it looked like Watterson was there to make the tackle short of the line to gain, but Bailey, just a great one-on-one play to make a man miss and picked up a 1st down for the Titans.
It's a little reminiscent of a little Colin Kaepernick right there, run by Bailey. Little hesitation, stutter step with those long legs, getting out and around the outside. Another single backfield. And they hand it to Fisalau. Fisalau around the right side. Looks like he's going, breaks a tackle, and he takes it down to the 12-yard line. Another great run by Fisalau.
There will be a flag on the play. Let's see what this is about. I believe it might be a holding call as it's thrown in the backfield.
And indeed, it's going to be a hold on the Titan offense. But it was a great bounce to the outside by Fisalau on that run. But obviously, there's somebody holding for the Titans to get Fisalau that space.
Yeah, it's no surprise that Tanielo Fisalau has 300 yards rushing in the first 2 games of the season. He's off to a fantastic start here tonight.
And it's not so easy for a bigger back like him to work in a spread system like that. Usually you see like really speedy scat backs in this type of offense, but Fisalau is very comfortable in this style.
Well, you got to tip your hat to the line, just opening up a big hole for him to get through.
Yeah, because you don't have a tight end really blocking for you, so it's just 5-on-5.
Empty backfield now for the Titans. A snap to Bailey. He throws outright to Fisalau on a screen pass. He's taking it down and, taken down at the 22-yard line. Game good for about 4 or 5 yards for the Titans.
Yeah, puts them in a really good manageable 2nd down, 2nd and 7. Good blocking from the receivers for the Titans. Darius Daniel and company.
There was a little bit of confusion there in the beginning of before that snap for the Titans, and it looked like they recovered nicely for that screen pass. Getting ready to snap again. Fisalau in the backfield. 2 wide out to the right, 1 to the left. The snap. Bailey looks right, moves left, and it's a sack.
Swallowed up by Mauricio Vasquez, who came unblocked off the edge.
Well, that pressure off the edge just forced Bailey just to scramble outside the pocket, and he had nowhere to go, swallowed up by the defense. Good defensive down by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it looks like a loss of a couple for the Titans. That'll bring us to 3rd down and 10. Let's see what the Burbank offense can do here as they're in the huddle.
Well, we saw a quick, huge play to start out this game, so 3rd and 10. Expect a pass here from the Titans and rely on the arm of Bailey to try to pick up this 1st down.
Looks like a halfback set to block. Fisalau blocks a long pass downfield and a touchdown to Quincy Wright. What a pass by Bailey right down the center of the field to a pretty well covered Quincy Wright. What a play.
Jeremiah Brown was in coverage for the Bulldogs, but I think an underthrown ball by Bailey really benefited him, and we'll see on this replay of the touchdown pass to Quincy Wright the 2nd. As you see Bailey in the shotgun, takes a 5-step drop, just lofts it up to Wright, and he makes a play on it.
Heck of an effort play on that.
And it looks like there is some laundry on the field. There is a flag thrown. I'm not exactly sure what it was for yet. Let's look to the official.
There's a delay of game.
Oh, that is a tough call on the Titans. That play will be coming back. Good, lucky break for the Bulldogs on that one.
Yeah, I think the touchdown counts. I think it's just going to be on this point after attempt where they took a little too long celebrating. So now,
okay, there we go.
The play clock ran out, so they'll have to go for this 2-point conversion or maybe go for the point after attempt. But the point after attempt brings up an interesting storyline for the Titans where they've missed several PATs so far in the 2 games previous. So they tend to go for 2 a lot on offense, and they're starting out this game going for 2.
Yeah, it's a bold move by the Titans. Let's see if it pays off.
They'll come out in a 2-wide set.
A wildcat with Darius Daniel.
Oh, and there's motion. Break to the left and going out to the right. Oh, breaks a tackle. That's number 21, Darius Daniel. And he gets in for the conversion.
Heck of an effort play by Daniels on that. Just not being brought down. That's a lot of weight room work in the offseason to be able to stay up on his feet and make his way into the end zone like that.
Yeah, absolutely. To have the leg strength to break a tackle like that, do a little pirouette and tiptoe into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. And Titans take an early 8-0 lead. And I think this Vacaville crowd is a little stunned with this gigantic crowd here for the Vacaville side. Not too many Titans fans on our side. But this place is a little quiet here at Thompson-Eno Stadium.
Yeah, there might not be a lot of Titans fans, but it sounds like they got a lot of fight in them, just like the team does out on the field. That is an 80-yard trip down the field to take an early 8-0 lead for Burbank against the Vacaville Bulldogs.
And hey, after this game, maybe the Vacaville fans will remember the Titans.
Well, we talked about high-powered offense for the Vacaville Bulldogs, and Burbank just comes out and just shocks us with that drive down the field. Quick strike ability. 8:56 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, what I was impressed with was the accuracy of Bailey coming into today's game. Only 37.5% completion percentage. Not the ideal completion percentage from your starting quarterback, but not to mention what Steven mentioned in the pregame where he's coming off an injury. So he looked very sharp there on that first drive.
Yeah, Bailey does have 218 yards so far this season, so he can air it out from time to time.
And here's one of my favorite players for the Titans, the big kicker, Stalemate.
Yeah, Tanielo Samate. Oh, looks like there's another flag on the field.
Sailed out of bounds.
But just to give you the dimensions of Samate, 6'2", 270. How'd you like that as your kicker?
I thought I was a big guy at 6'2", 240, and I am not looking that big anymore next to number 54.
I'd hate to see him coming down the field to tackle me.
Yeah, and that flag was for the ball being kicked out of bounds by Samate, so the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line for the Bulldog offense. And starting today for the Bulldogs under center is Jeremy Villalobos. Hunter Duro, who's one of the captains, is not dressing for today's matchup. So it's Villalobos getting the call.
Oh, and a good run there by Mason Price, really lowering his head, very Marshawn Lynch style.
And that's that wing T offense. The fake fullback dive, they hand it to the tailback, Mason Price. He gets a good 7-yard chunk on first down. That's exactly what the Bulldogs want on offense.
That elusiveness on the offense just creates so much opportunity for the Bulldogs to score, and we see it here now in the first play of the game.
That'll put the ball about the 43-yard line. 2nd down and 3 to go for the Bulldogs. Looks like a timeout substitution. Mason Price coming back into the game.
Yeah, the refs allowing the substitution to be made.
Bulldogs set, 32 in motion. Oh, delayed handoff to number 42, Clayton Watterson, for a short gain.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of Bulldogs touch the ball on offense. A lot of running backs will get their chance to feed here this evening here at Thompson-Eno Stadium for the Vacaville Bulldogs as it brings up a 3rd and 1.
3rd and short here for the Bulldogs. They get down quickly into their offensive set. They go to number 3, Nick Smith, and he breaks, number 2, Dylan Warfield.
Warfield on that just snaked his way through the hole for the offensive line, created for him, and managed to get a first down for the Bulldogs.
And what's going to be interesting this evening is going to be how the Titans' stamina is. A lot of two-way players, both Bailey and Fisalau are out there playing defense. How are they going to manage their energy level?
That just comes down to off-season conditioning and stamina.
Another carry by Clayton Watterson for a nice gain, taking the ball to the Burbank's 41-yard line.
Yeah, at the 41-yard line, it will be spot 2nd and 3 for the Bulldogs, and they're really up-tempo for their run game.
Absolutely, getting down to their set quick. 32 in motion. Oh, it looks like a flag on the play. Villalobos in trouble, takes it around the outside and is pushed out of bounds.
Villalobos
by
showing
Quincy
a little bit of
Wright.
those wheels he has there.
Yeah, let's see what the officials call.
An illegal shift on the Bulldogs. It looked like number 2, Dylan Warfield, moved a little bit early. It could have been called as 2 people going in motion at the same time.
Yeah, with number 32, Talon Bramowicz also in motion. Looked like a little bit jet sweep-ish going from right to left.
And, of course, Vacaville fans know that Abramowitz's name. His brother Jacob played here a couple years ago. He has a younger brother, Kyler, on the team, so a staple in this Vacaville football tradition.
That pushes the Bulldogs back. Now it's 2nd down and 8 to go. Oh, I missed that one. Delayed handoff. Back to
Watterson.
Yeah, Clayton Watterson for a nice gain.
That's the thing about this wing tee. It keeps everybody on their toes, even us in the broadcast booth.
Especially here in the first game of the season, trying to learn these names and numbers, and all of a sudden they're off to the races. That'll put the ball on the Burbank 31-yard line, 1st and 10.
Now we know how the Burbank coaching staff must feel sometimes of how do we stop this Bulldog offense?
Oh, handoff to Ryan McKay. Gets through a hole on the left side before he's brought down on about the 28-yard line.
And the Bulldogs offense is cooking. They're finding a really nice rhythm, getting these 5-yard chunk plays on 1st down, putting them in great position on 2nd and 3rd down.
Another quick lineup, 2 in the backfield. Handoff to 34, Mason Price, and he's brought down early right at the line.
And that play was just blown up by the Titans defense from the start.
Yeah, Lavelle Bailey, the quarterback, had a little double leg takedown. Looked like an amateur wrestler there.
I'm out of breath. I'm not exactly sure how the Titans are doing this on offense and defense. This is very impressive from Burbank tonight.
Yeah, I think those defensive linemen are definitely going to get their fill of activity.
3rd and 6, delayed handoff. Going back.
Abramowicz spins through a tackle.
Oh, and he breaks it. And it's a touchdown for the Vacaville Bulldogs.
There is a flag thrown down late, though, so Bulldogs will have to hold their celebration as a holding call is called on that play.
The Titans knew it. They're signaling for the Bulldogs to move back. Well, we saw a penalty earlier against the Titans. That was a nice break for the Bulldogs, and now here the Titans get a nice break as the Bulldogs are called for a penalty.
So we'll check this out on the replay and see if we can spot the infraction. As you see the fake handoff, they hand it to Abramowicz. Looks like 52 maybe. No. It must have been...
Oh, blocking the back maybe right there.
And so that's the mental mistakes that the Bulldogs can't afford as they settle on 1st down with the handoff.
That quick snap and fast-paced offense, Mason Price on that carry right there.
It's actually a 3rd down carry as the holding infraction put them behind. So it's going to be 4th and short. You'll see if the Bulldogs go aggressive and go for it here on 4th down.
As they break the huddle, let's see, they got one wide out left, single back in the backfield. Number 3 in motion, delayed handoff. Oh, wait, no, number 3 took it around the outside, still on his feet, going, and breaks a tackle, putting the moves on the Titan defense, and it looks like he's brought down past the 1st down. What a run.
That is that man, Nick Smith, I highlighted earlier in the beginning of the game, just being able to be elusive and just make plays and create for this offense here. And you can see as he picks up the Bulldogs' 1st down.
Absolutely. You mentioned he's not a burner, but he may make those subtle juke moves to make defenders miss, and that's what you need from that wing back position in this offense.
Great footwork as the whistle's blown here.
So it's 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. This Bulldogs offense has really found a nice rhythm here on their 1st drive. Now let's see if they can punch it in 4-6.
Looks like a timeout for a substitution by Burbank.
Yeah, maybe this is just a smart call by head coach Eddie Elder to just give his defense a blow and just give them a chance to catch their breath because of how quick this running game is.
Yeah, it looks like a nice hurry-up offense is the Bulldogs' strategy to maybe keep Burbank on their heels.
And a ton of play action, fullback dives. You don't know if they're going to hand it to the first guy, the second guy, or the third guy. So it's going to be up to the Titans to really try to figure out the play-calling tendencies of this Bulldog offense and try to stop them throughout this game.
A stop here by the Titans would be huge in this game very early on.
Yeah, the Vacaville Bulldogs do have a capable kicker in Talton. They're in field goal range, but they would love to get a touchdown to try to even this thing up.
So they break from the huddle. Looks like a split backfield, 2 out to the left.
And that power run for the touchdown, number 42, Clayton Watterson.
What a great run there by Clayton to get it into the end zone.
Gaping hole created by that Bulldogs line. Simply that elusiveness you have to think there. That power by that line and that elusiveness of that offense, you have to thank there for that play.
Yeah, and they gave it to everybody. They gave it to the fullbacks, the tailbacks, the wingbacks. So it's going to be hard for this Burbank defense to really keep this Vacaville offense in check. So if you're on offense, you got to think you got to score every single time. Every single offensive possession is going to be so important because you got to keep up with this Vacaville offense.
Looks like Vacaville breaks the huddle, and they're going for 2. 1 wide out to the left, 2 tails back. Sweep around. And, number 3 still on his feet. Does he get it? No, he doesn't, and that was Nick Smith on the jet sweep out the left-hand side, just short.
Yeah, try to hit that B button and do the spin move, but didn't quite work. But we're going to do a replay of that Watterson touchdown and show you folks how the fullback made his way into the end zone, just right up the left side. Had a nice haul from that left guard, left tackle.
So it looks like the Bulldogs have a very strategic running game tonight. So maybe if the Titans can kind of dial in on all the motion there in the backfield, they might be able to actually gain some ground on defense if they're able to break through the offensive line of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, this wing T offense is so classic that you don't see a ton of teams do it anymore. It's such a classic style that a lot of teams nowadays in high school go to the spread. A lot of 4 wide receiver sets, a lot of throwing. You don't see teams rush 40, 50 times a game anymore. So it's tough for a high school football team to really gauge this Vacaville Bulldogs offense unless you see it every single year.
No, I agree, Brian. But you know what? I like the size of the defensive line for the Titans, and I look to them to get a little bit more physical and see if they can push into the backfield and maybe disrupt that run a little bit.
And hey, if we get a high-scoring game, that's even better for us, right?
Absolutely.
When you've been running this offense since the 70s, there has to be some sort of something that keeps you coming back to it. And that is why the Bulldogs are so effective with this wing T offense.
You know, if it's broke, don't fix it.
I know, right?
The Bulldogs sat here to kick it off. Oh, touchback.
Yeah, that's high school football rules. If you field the ball in the end zone, it's an automatic touchback.
Unfortunately, that was a nice catch by Quincy Wright, and he was primed and ready to make a return.
Oh, yeah, he wanted it.
Absolutely.
We saw what he did in the open field in the end zone to make a play on the ball, so he wanted to use his athleticism and try to put some energy into this Burbank Titan offense.
Get those wheels going here for the Titans. So now the Titans will start with the ball on their own 20-yard line as they break the huddle. Looks like 1 wide out right, 1 left, 3, 4 in the backfield in motion. Everybody's a little bit confused, as am I. Now they're 3 wide to the right.
I see they have quarterback Bailey set out wide.
So Wildcat
Jeremiah Brown on coverage.
And that is swallowed.
And they smelled that play from the beginning.
Yeah,
the
Bulldogs. Wildcats smelled that out. Taniela Fala'u on the handoff and was stuffed in the backfield.
Yeah, once again, Nash Clegg, one of the senior defensive tackles, making a nice play, getting penetration through the offensive line to get a 2-yard loss on that first down run. You see Clegg with the long hair, joined by Jordan Santos in the starting lineup for the Bulldogs defense at defensive tackle.
We got 1 in the slot, 3 wide right, 2 in the slot now. Kind of a bunched formation on the left.
And that Wildcat play again.
Darius Daniel keeping the ball still on his feet, breaking right. Broke 2 tackles, stops, and he's finally brought down at the 45-yard line of the Bulldogs. What a fantastic run there by Daniels.
Yeah, what an impressive playmaker. We saw him break tackles earlier with his leg strength there. 2 broken tackles, and we'll watch on the replay. It was a great formation because you spread everybody out. Daniel gets to see everything, and nobody's up in the middle of the field, so he just makes a move to the right, breaks 1, 2 tackles, and then he just uses his speed and his strength. Actually broke 4 tackles on that one play, and what a play by Daniel. And he's still in the Wildcat for the Titans.
Got to wrap up for the Bulldogs.
Finala'u taking the handoff. Looks like a gain of 1, maybe 2.
And you got to believe the Titans' game plan, it features a lot of Wildcat. As Steven mentioned, the quarterback, Bailey, was hurt last week, so maybe they wanted to implement some sort of strategy to make some pressure off of Bailey and have more playmakers touch the ball with Daniel and Finala'u.
Maybe a little play on, play off, 2 off here. Looks like Bailey's lining up again, wide out left.
And again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Absolutely. Looks like Darius Daniel set to take the snap. Oh, and he looks out wide left to Bailey, catches the ball, and he's taken out of bounds at the Vacaville 25-yard line. What a pass and catch.
Jeremiah Brown on the tackle on that play. Way to wrap up and take him out of bounds. But Bailey simply beat him on the play. Good throw by the quarterback, and just a first down.
I can't believe it. I saw a back shoulder fade in high school football.
Yeah, Daniel really put it in a spot only where Bailey could catch it, and that was a fantastic play by the Titans.
Only the 3rd completed pass for Daniel. He was 2 for 5 on the season coming into this game.
Bailey lined up wide left again with 2 receivers on the left and the right, single back in the backfield, Finala'u, and it looks like an offsides going to be called against Vacaville. Unless maybe Burbank moved. Let's see what the official's call is. Yeah, offsides, Vacaville.
Yeah, trying to get a jump there on that Wildcat and try to be aggressive to try to put some pressure on Daniel in the backfield, but too aggressive, got called offsides.
Well, Vacaville on their toes, obviously, as the Titans are just driving the field with ease.
Daniel takes a snap again. He looks right, moves out to the right, still has the ball, and he throws. Oh, almost intercepted, and there's a flag, possibly some pass interference there on that play.
Yeah, off the hands of Briscoe. Could have made a turnover there, but I think they will get a PI called on the offense. Try to do a little pick play to open up somebody in the end zone. The referees aren't going to talk about it. But, man, the Titans offense, what I really like game plan-wise is they're really putting a lot of pressure and spreading out that Vacaville defense. We see not a lot of safeties back there, so it opens up the middle of the field later on, and then they only really exploited that on the first play of the game. They've been really attacking on the outside hashes on their offense so far. So if they continue that success, that only opens up those seams for those slot guys later on.
Well, I think what the Titans are trying to do is make the Bulldogs tackle in open space and see how and just test them how good their tackling is.
With that pass interference penalty, looks like it's going to bring the ball to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, so they called it on Vacaville on pass interference. So even if Briscoe had picked that off, would not have counted.
Daniel, delayed handoff to Finala'u. Finala'u caught, looks like about the line of scrimmage, maybe lost for a 1, depending on the spot.
Yeah, that was a great job of penetration from the defensive end, number 88 for the Bulldogs, Michael Brown, to push his tackle into the backfield and stop Finala'u before he could get some momentum.
And it looks like Lavelle Bailey still lined out, this time in the slot on the left. Single back in the backfield. Oh, fake handoff to Finala'u. Daniel takes it, and he's brought down, looks like about the 8-yard line.
And that's another good play by the Vacaville defense. You want to limit them to 2-3-yard runs, especially in the red zone here. 3rd and goal to go.
Abrahamowicz just taking out the motors on the running back there, simply stopping the play short before it can really get going.
You talk about two-way players, Talon Abramowitz, two-way player for the Vacaville Bulldogs as well.
That'll bring us to the 7-yard line. It's 3rd down and 8 to go for the Titans. Looks like a bunch formation to the right. Finala'u in the backfield motioning to the left. Daniel looking in for the play call, calling it out to the bunch formation on the right.
I would play action and run Daniel to the left side, but they're going to call a timeout. actually Burbank will.
Looks like a little confusion there. Want to get the right play when you're down in the red zone like this.
Yeah, what I like formationally wise is when you have 3 wide receivers out there, they're going to be covered out there. So the weak side to the left is going to be wide open, especially for your Wildcat quarterback in Darius Daniel. So if you switch the running back from the right side to the left side, fake a handoff left, hope that Vacaville bites on that, has all their penetration going towards that side, then you open up some space for Daniel to sneak in the back door.
It also forces Vacaville to play man-to-man and less zone, which I think right now is it's definitely going to be the advantage to Burbank.
Yeah, Vacaville predominantly doesn't run a lot of man. They don't want to do it. They want to play zone more often, and I believe they run a 4-2-5 defense. And they want to use their safety speed to cover a lot of space. They don't want to match those safeties up one-on-one against receivers.
Looks like Fisalatu in the backfield again.
That's the one good thing about being in your red zone defense is you can play a little bit more zone because you can only go so far. You only have the back of the end zone for the Titans.
Space is definitely cut off. Daniel's in the back to receive the snap. Oh. The snap is dropped. Daniel takes it, and that's a big loss. Vacaville really got into the backfield there.
Talon Abramowitz with the tackle. And that's the risk you run with the Wildcat is you don't have a quarterback out there to really bail you out when you have a bad snap like that.
Looks like Bailey's checking back in. Let's see if he takes this next snap.
And once again, 4th down. Burbank's not going to go for a field goal. I think at this point, Eddie Elder really doesn't trust his kicking game to get him 3 points in this position in the red zone. So they're going to go for it on 4th down more often than not.
Yeah, Bailey's lined out wide left again. Fisalatu, the lone back. 2 receivers to the right, and the play is blown dead. Timeout.
Yeah, maybe the game plan for the Titans will be one drive with Bailey as a quarterback and then one drive with Daniel as a quarterback and maybe see who's getting more success. And I think they're both getting success, so I wouldn't be surprised if next drive you see Bailey back under center or in the shotgun for the Titans offense.
Well, you've seen that catch Bailey had earlier in the game. I wouldn't blame him if he stays out wide.
Yeah, you got to use your athletes. If your quarterback can split out wide and your running back can play quarterback, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Bailey's got that Randy Moss build. He's tall, he's fit, and he's fast. So why not take advantage of that on the outside?
And it's just the creative play calling that you like as a high school football coach. To have versatility at this level is so important to create those dynamic plays to put your team on top.
And that's what makes the game so exciting. You're liable to see anything happen in high school football. So
looks like Bailey is lined up wide left again. Fisalatu in the backfield. 2 receivers lined to the right. Snap back to Daniel. Daniel looks left to Bailey. Deep in the end zone. Oh, and it's tipped.
Smith on the coverage there. Locking it down. Tried to take the shot to Bailey, and it just wasn't there.
Yeah, the pass was just a little short to Bailey. Unfortunate because it looked like he definitely had the height advantage over Smith.
Yeah, didn't have the arm strength to get it over Nick Smith, and Nick Smith makes a huge play on 4th down and knock it out of it wasn't in the hands of Bailey, but nonetheless.
Well, he almost got his hands on that
ball.
Almost.
He did, and you kind of wonder if Bailey didn't put in that effort, if it wouldn't be intercepted for a touchback.
Yeah. That would have been 5 more yards, but Vacaville will definitely take the ball on the 15 right here.
Absolutely. Vacaville gets in a quick set. Nick Smith in motion around the left.
Just right up the gut for Watterson yet again. And so I think they're really finding a weakness in the middle of that defensive line for Burbank as the fullback Clayton Watterson is getting huge gains.
Heavily relying on that fullback there. And that just means that D-tackle linebacking core has to step up for the Titans.
And it only means when they fake it to him, they're going to bite even more.
Oh, there's a flag on the play as the ball is handed off to Dylan Warfield. Let's see what the officials say here. That was a pickup of about 6 yards for the Bulldogs.
Is he hyping up the crowd? What is he doing there?
I think he's telling them to get back.
on the sidelines?
It
Maybe
might
like
be
a sideline warning?
Yeah, sideline warning. Yeah, it could cost them.
I don't know how. There's only 7 people on the sideline.
Seriously, it might be a warning to the coach.
Yeah.
Calling plays. Maybe he's a little too close to the boundary line there. Vacaville gets ready to set for the snap. The ball's handed off to Clayton Watterson. Looks like he drives it up the left side gap for another gain. Might have gotten the first down there. I'm not too sure.
Get a friendly spot.
Yeah.
And pick up a first down. And they will give it to him. And that's what you like to see out of your running back is the tendency to fall forward because that gets you an extra yard or two every single time. And there, enough to pick up a first down.
They're in the huddle. Looks like Adrian Cabezas lined out wide right. Dylan Warfield still on his feet and taken down right about the line of scrimmage. It just looked like he didn't have anywhere to go there.
And on that play, you see the defensive line for the Burbank Titans just winning the battle up front against the Bulldogs, stopping that play short before it could even get really going.
So we'll see if Bulldogs can get a playoff before the first quarter ends.
Yeah, watch that outside rush by Duke Washington Fana'u. Right on cue. Oh!
Yeah, they tried a little counter run there with Nick Smith, but again, good defense for the Titans. Maybe they should have been a little bit more judicious and not be so aggressive there. Try to sneak in a last play before the quarter because that one for negative yards.
Yeah, Duke Washington was right there. It's a good thing they reversed it because someone's head might have got taken off just as I was talking about DW Fana'u.
I wouldn't be surprised they thrown a little play action.
So we are 8-6 in this first quarter with going to be third down. Solana College Sports Network, Brian Nelson here with Stephen Babb and Miles Perry. Now, Miles, this has been a really interesting back-and-forth ball game for both sides offensively. What do you think defensively these two teams are talking about on their sidelines on how to stop each other's respective offenses?
Slowing down the tempo. So that means a lot more blitzes, a lot more stops in the backfield. Both teams need to make each other respect each other here because this high-paced offense is clearly saying that we think we can score, we think we can move the ball, and we think we're better than you. So I think both teams need to slow down the tempo, and that will change the dynamic of this game.
And so far in this drive, those last two plays really have done that for the Titans defense. Let's see if they can get it done on third down.
Oh, looks like a pass play from Vacaville. Oh, thrown out into the flats, and a not even close. Looked like maybe a broken play there in the backfield.
Yeah, Villalobos was really looking at his check down receiver out of the backfield, Waterston, but he wasn't looking back at his quarterback, so he kept running his route. There was a lot of pressure in the backfield. Like Miles said, the Titans were able to generate pressure, and so fourth down stop, and this is the first defensive stop that we've seen for the Titans, so they'll get the ball back as Brandon Talton, the kicker/punter for the Vacaville Bulldogs, back to kickoff. Quincy Wright, the second.
Yeah, Quincy back there to receive. The kick is up. Down the middle, looks like he'll have a chance to receive. Breaking left, puts a move on, nice block, and he's taking it down the left sideline. Still on his feet, looks like he's pushed out of bounds right about maybe the 35-yard line of Vacaville.
We can see why he wanted to return that kickoff return earlier in the ball game because once he got a little bit of space, sometimes when you have a strong leg kicker, it gives that returner a little bit more of an opportunity and space to make his moves on the return.
Yeah, great play by Quincy right there.
I believe the kicker came up and made that tackle on the play.
There you go, Talton.
Might have saved a touchdown there for sure, because I don't think anything was going to stop Quincy.
Yeah, who says kickers aren't football players, right?
He might have pushed him out of bounds. I'm really impressed with Burbank here.
Yeah, absolutely, with the 2-point lead, and again, in the Wildcat.
Bailey going out wide left. Oh, great coverage.
Yeah, Trevor Marshall on the coverage, breaking it up. And these Titans passes aren't the prettiest. They float up there sometimes, so it's up to the Vacaville Bulldogs to really make a play in the air and actually come up with a turnover instead of just swatting them down. So far, they've done a good job of swatting them down. Only a couple of big plays for the passing game It's going to be interesting to see how the Titans passing game progresses.
These wideouts for Burbank, though, I don't blame him for throwing it up there and making it a jump ball.
You just don't have a quarterback to throw it to them right now.
Hand off to Finala'u. He breaks one tackle around to the right, and maybe a gain of 1. A hard run there.
Yeah, just lower the shoulder, and maybe a little ginger coming up off the turf.
And Trevor Marshall coming up and making the tackle on that play.
So 3rd down and 8 for the Titans. Expect something creative, I would say, here with 3rd down and long, 39-yard line, kind of in that in-between where he can try to take a shot maybe at the end zone.
Quincy Wright being subbed out.
And there you get a
for
look
Duke
at
Washington.
On our camera, Taniela Fisalau is hurting on the sideline, maybe looking at his ribs.
I think he got the wind knocked out of him there on that play.
Yeah, he definitely lowered his shoulder, and maybe somebody landed on top of him.
Well, Marshall went low on that tackle and just didn't get low enough on that play to avoid that shot to the ribs.
Yeah, so as we get this injury timeout, set up 3rd and 8 with 11 minutes left in this first half, back and forth ball game. Titans offense really wants to capitalize on that defensive stop. You don't know when your defense is going to get another opportunity like that, or your offense is going to get an opportunity like this after a defensive stop, with how Vacaville's offense has been really progressing here in this first half.
Looks like Lavelle Bailey taking a breather. He's played every snap, I think, so far, maybe with the exception of 1 in the game.
Yeah, offense and defense making a lot of plays at the linebacker position as well.
Daniel takes a direct pitch, and it looks like he's going to throw deep wide out left, and it's just overthrown.
Put a little bit too much on that pass there.
The intended receiver, Edward Assi.
Yeah, again, that's what the issue is when you have a Wildcat quarterback and you don't have a prototypical quarterback to have the accuracy. He had a wide receiver open on that play. If he threw it towards the sidelines instead of up the field, you would have had a completion for a 1st down, but he really forced it, and it's going to be 4th down.
Well, it looked like a little bit of miscommunication there because Alasi stopped on that route, and it was just sailed over his head. He was looking for the ball.
Maybe he's looking at a comeback route, perhaps. A look at the punt is fumbled by Samate, and he's going to be tackled down.
Bad break there for Burbank. Samate fumbled the snap, and he was driven back. Looks like it's going to be on the Burbank 48-yard line for the Vacaville Bulldogs to start this next drive.
Yeah, he had to use every inch of his vertical leap of 6'2", 270-pound frame to make sure that one didn't sail over his head, but that allowed Michael Brown, as we look on this replay, as he just knocked it down, Michael Brown tackles him head on, and great field position for the Bulldogs.
He came back there like a freight train, a runaway train, coming in and just laying the hit on him.
Looks like they're going to spot the ball, saying that Samate was down. It's actually a good break for the Titans there, because if Samate didn't catch that, it would have been disastrous.
Oh, broken tackles up the left side.
It's number 34, Mason Price, with a fantastic run, breaking out to the left, taken down, looks like at about the 12-yard line.
Price slow to get up.
Price, well, staying low in between those gaps allowed him to just create so much spacing and get that much yardage off that play. Breaking tackles.
Looks like an injury timeout here now for Price as he's still on the ground, removing his helmet.
And then we'll watch Price's run as Coach Papadopoulos checks on his player. But Price up the right side, cuts back left here, and he just has open space off that cutback. Great play by the Titan defender to undercut him.
That was a great tackle there by number 21, Darius Daniel. Maybe Price, maybe just a little bit of a Charlie horse there in the thigh as Daniel really lowered his shoulder to make actually a great touchdown-saving tackle there in the open field.
Yeah, absolutely, because a lot of people, if you don't know how to play the angles, would take a too shallow route. If you have a faster running back than Price more of a power back at, I believe he's 5'10", 200 pounds. And he's, I think what you said, Steven, just limping a little bit gingerly, maybe got a little bruise there on his thigh from that tackle.
Yeah, Vacaville hoping it's not something more serious, but it does look like he's starting to put a little bit more weight on it.
And Coach Papadopoulos walking his player back to his sidelines. That's one of the things he talked about before the season started, was really he wanted to figure out his depth with the graduating senior class. He wanted to figure out who would be his first-string running backs, second-string running backs, and when one of your running backs goes down, that's when your depth gets tested. So here with Price coming out, who's going to step in? Obviously, Clayton Watterson has done a great job in this game so far.
Well, in this game of football, it is a next man up mentality. You never know play to play what can happen. So the next guy has to be ready to step up and take that next man's job.
Unless you're the Titans, because then it's every man is up at every time. They got to be ready. It's like a
hand off to Island for the touchdown.
And he will walk his way into the end zone untouched.
I completely missed Chris Island with that. There was so much movement in the backfield by the Bulldogs, but a fantastic run, almost untouched around the right-hand side.
And it's that fullback dive that they just really, I think they do a little trap on the inside. They must to open up, as we'll look in the replay. We'll see 22, barely. It's hard to just keep your eye on him. But really, the Vacaville Bulldog wing T offense has just run to perfection so far this afternoon.
With just that downfield blocking by the line allows him to get downfield and make that play.
Villalobos rolls out and completes it to Abramowitz for the two-point conversion.
Yeah, it looks like a nice rollout to the right there, and not a bad play call for the two-point conversion. That's going to put the Bulldogs up 14-8 over Burbank Titans.
And their pace is so fast they didn't even let the band finish the song.
It actually looked like a little bit on the right side for the Titans there. Might have jumped the line, but it wasn't called, and it wasn't enough. They went around the opposite side and were able to get in.
It almost benefited them that they were bootlegging to the opposite side. Had the defense reversed, maybe that would have blown up the play, and maybe that been a little bit more obvious to the ref that there was an offsides on that two-point conversion. But nonetheless, Vacaville hits that two-point conversion after failing the first time, so effectively they have 14 points after 2 touchdowns, which you would expect.
It's not how you get there, it's that you get there.
Yeah.
Bulldogs here set to kick off.
I smell the hot dogs, guys.
I do too. It looks like Quincy Wright, Darius Daniel set to receive.
You'd expect Taunton to maybe avoid Wright, maybe kick it up to the right sideline after we've seen Wright's return ability.
And they kick it down to the left to Quincy. He catches the ball at about the 1 yard line. He's taking it back. Stutter step past the 20. And he almost breaks it, but taken down finally at the 24-yard line. What a return.
I really think you want to avoid him if you're the special teams game, because he's shown an ability to be really nimble in the open field. And those kick returners just have those sort of abilities to do those little stutter steps and cut on a dime to make big plays.
He is the one guy you want to avoid. Every time he touches the ball, it's almost a home run. So kick it to another man, kick it to the other side, kick it out of bounds. Anybody but him.
Looks like Bailey in the backfield going to step back into the quarterback role. Finau in motion, moving to the right. 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right. And it's a fake handoff and a throw to Quincy, and it's dropped, maybe a little high, a little behind him.
Yeah, that high pass allowed the Bulldog defender, Michael Briscoe, to put his right hand and try to break that one up. Had he put it right in the breadbasket in stride, that slant had some opportunity there for space, but again, high throw from Bailey.
Yeah, absolutely. You almost think that maybe that Wright was a little too quick on that for Bailey, and he threw just a little behind, a little high.
Yeah, when you have quick receivers, the anticipation, that's what practice is all about, getting that rhythm with your receivers.
It's like the referee has blew the play dead, talking to
We've seen equipment issues a couple of different times from Burbank's side, so Fisalau is going to take a seat, and number 34, Duke Washington Finau, will check in the running back spot. It's hard to see his number with all that hair.
I love it. Oh, quarterback keeps it. Bailey up through the middle, puts on a move. Oh, and another move, hit from behind, drops the ball, and is it recovered? Yes, it's recovered by Vacaville on the 48-yard line. Tough break there for Bailey. He had the moves and just was caught from behind unexpectedly.
You got to hold that ball tight. That is the #1 rule as a runner. That ball has to be tucked in tight, and as you see, he juked there, lost a little bit control of the ball, hit from behind, and that ball just pops loose.
Yeah, one move too many. That hesitation allowed the blindside defender coming from his back. He's not able to see anybody coming up from behind him, and he got nailed. And you see that playing Madden all the time.
Great field position for Vacaville. Well, it looks like the wide receiver is lined up off sides, but it wasn't called.
Warfield staying on his feet.
He manages to pick up a little bit extra yardage on that play.
Great bounce there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like you're going to take another look at the fumble here by Bailey.
Great individual play up the middle. Right there. Nice cut.
During that hesitation, it was just drilled from behind. There's really nothing you can do there. Too many men on the field. Flagged against Burbank. That's unfortunate because he was trying really to get off.
Yeah, Xavier Montiel.
Well, it's all about awareness and personnel at this point. Burbank has to be aware of how many guys they have on the field. They really can't afford mistakes.
Yeah, it looked like just maybe a late substitution there because he was doing everything he could to get off. But, I mean, he's running, 35 yards to get off the field when the ball's on the right side.
So it's going to be interesting because it was a nice gain on first down, but obviously it's a pretty similar amount with the 5-yard penalty. I'd probably take the penalty and start with 1st and 5.
It looks like it's going to move the chains. 1st and 10 from the Burbank 15-yard line. Two-back set. Hesitation handoff.
That's Chris Island.
I can't read any of the numbers from here.
I believe that was Chris Islands on the carry.
Yeah, Island with the carry from Villalobos. And the fact that Villalobos hasn't really gone back to pass many times, that's a perfect recipe for the Vacaville Bulldogs offense. You just want to rely on that rush. Again, pulls over.
On the carry.
Island with the 2nd touchdown rush on the evening.
Yeah, I can't keep up with this Vacaville offense. I don't know how Burbank's even staying in the game.
Yeah, Chris Island is a returning player for the Vacaville Bulldogs. He got some playing time last year and obviously comfortable in the system. So we'll look at this inside handoff. And it's just so subtle. With the right hand, he hands it off to Island. With the left, he's faking to the halfback. So if you're a defensive lineman, your eyes have to be at 2 places at once. Are you looking at his right hand or are you looking at his left?
You can't even blink. It's so fast.
There, Villalobos rolls out to his left, and that's going to be tipped.
Great play there by the Burbank defense to keep that 2nd point conversion.
Took a shot to Mills, and it just wasn't there for him.
Yeah, 1 for 3 now for 2-point conversions for the Vacaville Bulldogs. So at least the Titans are trying to keep it close. Now it's a 12-point game. And if you score 2 touchdowns and you don't score your 2 2-point conversions, it's a tie game. So those 2-point conversions add up if you can make those stops.
They do, and with this Burbank offense, 12 points really isn't a lot. They seem to be able to move the ball pretty well against this Vacaville defense. So let's see what they can do here on this drive.
Yeah, I really think they need to get back to that offensive style where they're splitting people out and really taking advantage of those one-on-one matchups.
Looks like Darius Daniel and Quincy Wright set to receive. See if they avoid Wright this time around.
Yeah, and at Tom Zanino Stadium, this is into the win for Brandon Talton, so it's going to be a lot harder for him to get a touchback here. So I would try to get it over to the right side if I were Talton.
And they kick it to the left to right again. He catches it cleanly, tight ropes, cuts back to the middle of the field, and he's caught and taken down at the 22-yard line. That's really a great run to tightrope that sideline there and bring it up to the 21.
Yeah, I think it honestly might have been a little bit of a mistake as well because it was so close to the sideline that ball could have gone out of bounds, and if it had, you would have got the ball at the 35 instead of at the 20.
21, 22, yeah.
But obviously, with the ball in the air, it's really hard to judge where you're at on the field and kind of make that split decision. From up here, it looks easy. When you're down on the field, definitely harder.
And to be honest, with right speed, I mean, I would take my chances
exactly.
and see what he could do.
Looks like he's thinking take it to the house.
Absolutely.
Not start on the 35.
Looks like Bailey back to receive the snap right down the right side, and it's a throw down the middle, and it's just out of reach of number 21, Darius Daniel.
And I think that's wide open in this system because they spread them out so wide that they don't have they don't have safety help over the top. So when you run those go routes up the middle of the field, you're just one-on-one. And if your wide receiver has inside leverage, they have all the space in the world. You just got to get it to them in stride.
It almost looks like Daniel maybe didn't pick up the speed early in that route, and if he would have, that would have been timed a little bit better because that was a beautiful throw by Bailey.
And the wind factor also plays a factor in this long passing game as well. When you have the wind at your back, obviously it's going to put a couple extra yards on your throw. Going to the Wildcat with Daniel.
Bailey out to the left. Daniel's Oh, and the ball's loose. Picked up by Vacaville. And it's,
just caught at his.
Nash Clegg picks that ball up.
Taken down at the 2-yard line.
Almost a scoop and score for the Bulldogs defense, but great rip, and we'll look at the replay there. It was a simple quarterback draw call for Darius Daniel as he'll go up to the right side of the offense. He'll get stood up by the Bulldog defender there, Michael Brown, and it gets ripped out. Nash Clegg, man on the spot, and just a diving, saving tackle by Michael Knox, the offensive lineman. So that puts the Bulldogs in a great field position for their offense. First and goal at the 2-yard line.
It's really kind of put the game a little bit out of reach here in the first half.
Let's see if Island gets his 3rd rushing touchdown. They'll hand it to Warfield.
And I know it might be early, guys, but I think fatigue might be setting in for this Titans team.
No, absolutely, as Warfield just kind of dances around to the outside right edge and almost walks into the end zone. But from 2 yards out, that's kind of, it's not really that hard to believe that would happen.
It's just such an impressive offensive line performance from the right side to go untouched in the goal line. You would expect them to try to get low and try to drive back that offensive line and get some sort of penetration up the middle, but just overwhelming offensive line play from the Vacaville Bulldogs, and that's kind of their staple as an offense. You want to rely on that offensive line and that running back.
Looks like Brandon Talton is getting ready to kick the extra point for Vacaville. Oh, and movement up front. Whistle's blown. Maybe a false start on Vacaville. Wasn't too sure. Oh, nope. It's going against Burbank.
Yeah, and with that penalty, we'll see if Coach Pop goes aggressive here, because if he would go for 2, it would be on the 1-yard line because the infraction would be half the distance to the goal. But probably with the lead, he'll go conservative and just stay with the field goal.
Good sportsmanship. I mean, why try to run up the score? There's no need at this point in the game.
And get your kicker some points, man.
Absolutely. Oh, kicked.
He drills
looking for a sign. Oh, and it's good.
Yeah, and for Talton, getting confidence is important for him. Last season, he had a chance to win the homecoming game with his leg, and he missed the field goal. So that was really tough for the junior kicker. You got to believe, the memories of kicking at home. It's tough. So Talton getting on the board there with the point after attempts is a good thing for the senior kicker. So Vacaville taking advantage of that turnover. So back-to-back turnovers for the Titans, and that's something that can't happen. In their previous 2 games, they've actually forced a lot of turnovers. 5 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery. Here against the Vacaville Bulldogs, no turnovers for their defense, 2 on offense.
Yeah, it looks like Edward Ossie and Darius Daniel back to receive the kickoff for Burbank.
Yeah, Quincy Wright is on the bench, and he's looking a little either tired or
understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable. Catch a breather here. Take advantage of the time in between kickoff and first snap of the drive. And kickoff goes to Daniel. He receives it at the 1-yard line, takes it up, cuts it back towards the middle, then back out right, and he, is tripped up, but brings it out to about the 29.5-yard line for Burbank. Yeah. And he's a little shaken up on that play. Let's hope Daniel's all right.
Yeah, he tried to hurdle Trevor Marshall there, and when you hurdle a guy and you miss and you hit the shoulder pad with your knee, that's definitely maybe his shin hit him, but that failed hurdle hurts.
Yeah, absolutely.
A helmet to the shin does not feel good coming from experience.
Yeah, I don't know if offering that Gatorade bottle is going to help him much. I think
might have to walk that one out on the sidelines.
Yeah. But it looks like he's all right. He's walking off on his own power.
And we'll look at Daniel's return on the replay real quick, and we'll see at the end of the play him try to hurdle Marshall and failed to do so. There, just a helmet right there on that left leg.
Yeah, I think it was maybe a little bit more of an aversion maybe than hurdle, just trying to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your legs hit while your cleats are in the grass, because that's an injury for sure.
Yeah.
Bailey back, takes a snap, and he keeps it, runs right, and he's taken down at the line of scrimmage by Stefano Menico.
Yeah, and that's a great job from a team defensive perspective, because Santos, he got great pressure off the edge. So what does the quarterback have to do? He has to step up. And when you step up and have two guys there to meet you, that's great defense.
And we can see the Bulldogs upping that pressure here in this second quarter.
Looks like Quincy Wright on the sidelines trying to stretch something out. Looks like he's in a little bit of discomfort. Bailey is now in the backfield with Fasila'au to block. Bailey keeps it. He's running bound to the left, still looking downfield for a pass, and he throws it away. Smart move there by Bailey. And there's a flag. Let's see what the ruling is. Maybe a late hit.
Yeah, because I believe that throw. And there's a secondary flag. So maybe he said something. Because the ref was right by the Burbank huddle, and he threw a second flag.
Intentional grounding, really?
Yeah, maybe they said that the ball didn't cross the line of scrimmage on the throw out of bounds. So technically,
tough.
Technically you do have to throw it past the line of scrimmage, even though the ball sailed well into the sidelines at the 40-yard line where it went out of bounds.
Where it exit the
field of play.
Tough penalty here for the Titans in this situation. 2nd and 14 for him.
And if you're Coach Elder, you got to have your squad to keep their composure. This is not going the way you want, obviously. Back-to-back turnovers. You have very little momentum. But this is what football's about. This is what trains you to be a tougher person. Like, how do you respond to adversity? Do you let that adversity get into your head and make you play worse? Or do you respond to it and play better and play more disciplined? That's not what we're seeing from the Titans.
Trying to figure out what that second flag was for. It's still laying on the field. The play's getting ready to snap here. Come on, officials.
Banana peel that's ready to be slipped on.
They're playing past the flag. No one can catch it. No explanation on the second flag. I'm not sure what that was for.
Yeah, they backed him up quite a bit. So 3rd and 33.
Ball now on the 5-yard line.
Looks like NFL blitz.
Yeah. Look for a nice pass, though, down the line.
You might as well. You're down 19.
Try to be like aggressive. Brandon Cooper lined up on the right.
Hopefully Coach Elder has something drawn up here.
Bailey rolling right. And he throws a little drop pass to number 22, Malik Trice. Unfortunately, just not able to make a tackle there, but a great catch by him and to look upfield for a gain of a couple.
Yeah, and I think that's a good conservative play where if you catch him off guard, you catch him over pursuing, you break off a good chunk play, then great. If not, it's a 3-yard gain, So it's a low ceiling, low floor, high ceiling.
There you go. Let's hope Samate can get a better snap this time as he's back to kick it off for Burbank. To punt for Burbank.
As a second gunner runs onto the field last minute for the Titans.
That's number 23, Martin. Samate kicks. It's a shallow kick, only out to about the 34-yard line. Picked up by Nick Smith, breaks a couple tackles, puts on a move, runs down on the right-hand side, and it's a touchdown.
And that is that elusiveness I told you guys about earlier in the game. Smith just able to make one man miss, and in this game of football, you make one man miss. it's all house from there.
And producer Robert, I can't wait till you queue up that replay.
Oh, looks like there's a flag down on the field in the corner of the end zone. Not sure what it's for.
I believe
taunting.
Taunting.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
But why wouldn't you taunt? I mean,
by Smith, yeah.
When Smith had a return like that, that is something you got to be excited for.
Take a look at it here again. Fields it on a bounce.
And there you see some Titans, they're not running to the ball, they're just walking, and Smith takes full advantage.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a fatigue factor there.
Yeah. Just the ability to make
a Magic Johnson jersey, too.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, there it is. So Nick Smith blowing kisses to the crowd. Possibly the cheerleaders there in the corner of the end zone. Why not?
Nick Smith had some magic there on that punt return.
Absolutely in front of that Lakers jersey. That guy's lost.
And you can see he's just picking off where he left off last year. He was a dynamic playmaker for them, but now he's really just showing that he deserves to be that head guy on the team.
You know what? Let's give credit where credit's due. It's Miles Perry giving him a shout-out in our intro that made him play so well here tonight on his debut on SCSN this season.
Absolutely great analysis by our man Perry. You know Nick Smith?
Not personally, but, however, just being a Fairfield native, I do believe like this guy is a special talent. And a lot of talent goes unnoticed here in this MEL conference.
Yeah, and talking about the MEL, a lot of changes happening. Napa no longer in the division. I believe Vintage is the other team that left. Mm-hmm. And you have a new squad. It's probably not as tough a schedule anymore for Vacaville. And, you know, they have tough schedules with Oak Ridge loss and the Liberty loss. Can't have a great taste in your mouth after those, but always have a tough non-conference schedule.
We got Talton here for the point after. Oh, and the snap is fumbled.
And just kneeled down there.
Yeah, Adrian Cabezas fumbled that snap and brought down. Looks like about the 27-yard line.
So 33-8, not the most conventional score. But, man, what activity in the first half, fellas. A lot to keep up with.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're just tuning in now, you've missed quite a bit, but I have a feeling quite a lot is still to happen in this game.
Hey, but definitely kudos to Burbank here. I mean, they're really putting in a tough effort to try to tame this Bulldogs offense. It's insanely fast.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, when you're down this much, the halftime speech is going to be very important for Coach Elder and what he tells his guys and how they respond to that speech as well. But when you're down like that, maybe that allows you to be ultra aggressive, and now you don't have to worry about trying to keep the score, and we might get even more excitement from this Titans offense.
No, I agree.
Yeah, well, with a score like this, you believe the pressure is taken off you now, and really whatever you can do to just move the ball downfield and try to get into that end zone, I feel like they have to take a shot.
If Burbank can play smart here and not turn the ball over anymore, then they definitely have a shot.
Still plenty of time, 6:47 left in the half to score.
Talton kicks the ball off. Looks like Daniel lets it go by him for a touchback.
It just shows the leg of Talton to get that touchback. You don't see a ton of those in high school football on as consistently as Talton does.
Wonder if he's a soccer player. Oftentimes you see soccer players converge over to football. I had a buddy in high school that was we both grew up playing soccer together, and he could kick a 55-yard field goal.
Yeah. A lot of times when a football program doesn't have a kicker that tries out, they'll go to the soccer team and be like, hey, anybody want to try place kicks? And
yeah,
they'll try to recruit from the soccer team.
I promise you don't have to tackle anybody.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, my buddy would actually run in a circle and then go up and boot a 55-yard field goal.
Yeah, maybe if there's soccer players that do slide tackles and try to do it that way.
Hey, you never know.
Tackle's
Bailey back. Oh, the ball's loose. Who's got it? Oh, Vacaville, I think, came up with it.
Yeah, Michael Brown. Michael Brown forced a fumble, now gets a fumble recovery, so not what you want from the Titans. Another fumble, a third fumble in their third consecutive drive gives the Bulldogs, I sound like a broken record, but another opportunity in the red zone.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been a delayed handoff there between Bailey and the running back. Maybe a little miscommunication because it didn't look like it went off clean at all.
Well, the play was blown up from the start, and Brown was just able to get into the backfield and just rip that ball out of the running back's hands.
We'll check it out on the replay. Just the ball popped up out of the hands of number 21, Darius Daniel.
Vacaville sets. That's Dylan Warfield in motion. Oh, and a pass almost picked off by Bailey. Great defensive play there by Bailey to move around from the left to the right side.
And I like that play call from Coach Pop. Try to get Villalobos in a little bit of a rhythm. He has not completed a pass so far in this game. So when the game is this lopsided, might as well try on first down, take a shot with his arm, try to get a little confidence in your quarterback, especially he's one of 2 quarterbacks on the roster for the Bulldogs, the other being Hunter Duro.
And I do not know what happened there.
I believe Watterson got another carry.
Yeah, it looked almost like he threw it up, though, and Watterson came around from the edge to catch it out of the air. Almost like I don't want it, you want it. As the ball was definitely in the air. It wasn't really a conventional handoff. Lots of movement in the backfield there by Vacaville. Oh, delayed handoff again.
That one to Talon Abramowitz.
Yeah, Abramowitz taking it right through the middle for a gain of a couple.
And now maybe go for a field goal here, a 4th down.
Yeah, Cabezas coming back in, maybe to...
Nope, I guess
no?
not.
Oh.
He's going to play wide receiver.
Yeah, there he goes. So one lined out right, halfback. Oh, and bursting through the line is number 12, Edward Ossie.
And that's just the story of the game right now. Vacaville with the hard count. Obviously, 4th down and 3. You pull some tricks out, go with the hard count. Use Burbank's aggressiveness against them. They're upset about the score right now, so they're going to be on edge.
But I don't really mind that from Burbank right now. I mean, make a play on defense.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get the ball to the running back's hands, disrupt them in the backfield.
Or maybe you can catch the official slipping.
Absolutely.
That
looked like Dylan Warfield taking it up around the right side.
Drilled into the end zone.
And into the end zone.
So now he gets his 2nd touchdown rushing on the evening, matching Chris Island with his 2. And there's yet another Titan down on the field.
Can't quite make out the number from here.
It's in the 70s. And we don't have a 70 on our roster. So we hope that Titan is all right. You got to feel for those defensive linemen and offensive linemen. With the style that Vacaville plays, so physical up front on both sides of the line, that's got to wear on those both linemen.
These linemen need air. These big guys, they can't keep going back and forth like this. They need a break.
Man, and there's still 5 minutes, 20 seconds left in the half, and halftime just can't come soon enough for the Titans here.
Okay, so as they check on them, Vacaville on the verge of scoring 40 points in the first half alone. And that's got to be a great feeling for them after going scoreless against Oak Ridge last week in a 42-0 loss and losing to Liberty 10-35. To come out like this on their home opener, and especially they were down 8-0. This is almost 40 unanswered points for the Vacaville Bulldogs. And it's just an impressive thing for the Bulldogs squad to accomplish.
Well, Coach Papadopoulos made some great adjustments there coming out of the first quarter. Just being able to add that aggressiveness into his defense and allowing this team to just open up their offense and just let the Bulldogs loose.
Yeah, I think that hurry-up offense really played off well for the Bulldogs and taking advantage of the numbers of the Titans here, just because they don't have a lot of people to make those substitutions on defense or offense for that matter. Let's hope that this Titan that's on the ground looks like maybe a leg injury. Again, can't quite tell who it is from here.
Yeah, maybe a cramp over in this calf area.
And he is in pain, guys.
Yeah.
He is in pain.
It might be more than a cramp. Let's hope it's not something serious.
Yeah, I think the only benefit... Yeah, so 76. We don't have that number on our roster, unfortunately. Burbank has such a small roster as is. To have an injury like that, and especially coming off the heels, they had 3 injuries last week against Sheldon High School. So a depleted Titans roster.
Yeah, Quincy Wright is still also sidelined with what looks like maybe a bruised hip. We see him trying to walk it off. So this could be 2 people down for Burbank.
Maybe a hip pointer
for
Wright.
And this just as Burbank as a team, this has to hurt here. This is like the focal point of their season, injuries, and they cannot afford it.
21 walking off a little bit of a limp too.
Yeah, and we saw earlier in the game Fisalau on a run. 55's being checked out as well.
It looks like he manages to get up.
There we go.
So that's good for the big man to get some help as he is limping off the field.
Number 75, not sure exactly who the player is, but he's not able to put any weight on that left foot, being helped off by Bailey and a trainer.
Yeah, I think the only encouraging thing is they weren't checking out his knee, so we're hoping it's not some sort of knee injury, because you hate to see that in high school football. It's injuries that change people's lives. You just hope that it's just an injury that, you know, if it takes it out of the game, that's not the end of the world. It's not going to affect your quality of life later on.
Yeah, hopefully maybe just a turned ankle or something.
Yeah, but not being able to put pressure on that knee there as he hobbles off the field. Can only pray for him, man.
That'll bring out Antonio Farinius, number 58, onto the field for a substitution.
And with all that said, Brandon Talton, game goes on as he'll go for the point after attempt to try to make this a 40-8 ball game.
Halftime can't come soon enough. Oh, little miss snap. Oh, and it's still up and good for Talton.
So he does put the exclamation point on yet another touchdown drive after a turnover.
And Talton is a 4 for 4 of this game, isn't he?
I think he's 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had a couple 2-point conversions. One failed.
Yeah, and then a botched snap. I don't believe that counts as an attempt. I think that counts as like a failed rush.
Yeah.
When that happens on a botched snap.
2 for 2, excuse me.
Yeah. But, yeah, Vacaville, it's been an interesting road to get to 40 points because they've failed 2 2-point conversions. They've hit one. They've had a field goal miss. So, I mean, it's been a heck of a first half for Vacaville.
Yeah, a run of bad luck for Burbank. Looks like we have Aussie and Wright set to receive.
And they hit that wall called adversity. And at this point, we just have to hope and see that they can just climb their way over it and work their way back into this game, or not into the game, but into the end zone, just so they can get a little points for their team.
Yeah, so the touchdown so far, 2 for Chris Island, 1 for Watterson, 2 for, I believe, Dylan Warfield, and that punt return from Nick Smith. So 6 touchdowns in the first half.
Kick from Talton over to Wright. And it looks like it's into the end zone for a touchback. He tried everything he could to keep it in play.
Looked like he could use some gloves there. Yeah. Tried to barehand it.
Yeah, that was tough. I think he probably would have been in the end zone when he came down, if he came down with it. That's all right. It's going to set the ball up on the 20 for Burbank.
Yeah, I think Burbank would like the NFL rules and have it set at the 25 after a touchback, but still in high school. So Bailey out there in a shotgun.
We have 2 lined out to the 2 wide out to the right, 2 to the left. Is that Filisau?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he's back out there.
Yeah.
Guess it looks like
Filisau, excuse me.
Yeah, a 4-yard run.
Watterson on the tackle.
And yet you just got to go simplistic at this point. Just keep both hands on the ball. Don't fumble. 3 straight fumbles on the last 3 drives for the Titans.
I do like this spread out offense, though. It could play a big advantage, as it's a fake to Fisalau and a throw down to Darius Daniel. Great catch down the middle. Takes the ball all the way to the 45 of Vacaville.
Just taking advantage of that zone offense. You had 2 go routes, and you'll see on the replay, he had 1 defender and 2 wide receivers that he was guarding. So that was the
run before
by Filisau.
That play action opening up the field for this
Fisalau.
I've been having a little trouble tonight. Bailey back. I've been impressed with Bailey's arm. Oh, Takes it, throws it there to Aussie, who's able to kind of recover on that broken play and take it up through the middle to the 36 or 37 of Vacaville.
French tripping him up on that tackle there.
It was a good job by Aussie to make a play because there's 2 wide receivers blocking 3 Bulldog defenders, so he was able to get a lot on that first down play. Second down, and they'll say 1.
Yeah,
it's more like 2.
This is a drive you'd like to see. Nickel and diming, trying to get their way downfield.
Daniel in motion, breaking out to the right. Bailey looking, oh, he's in trouble. Breaks one tackle, breaks through another one, throws the ball, and throws it away. But what a fantastic job there by Bailey to get rid of the ball before being sacked for a huge loss.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a heads-up play by your quarterback. You love to see that awareness when you're in trouble, not to eat the sack, but to realize you're out of the pocket. All you got to do is get it past the line of scrimmage to avoid that play. And we'll look at the big gain. Oh, actually, we'll look at him break 2 tackles and then just throw it away.
Yeah, the defender was hanging on him when he got rid of the ball. It's just a great job there by Lavelle Bailey. As he stepped back to take the snap. Spread out offense again. Fisalau in the back, fake handoff to Fisalau. Will look down to the right-hand side of the field. A deep throw. A deep throw there to Aussie. Little bit of contact, but the ball was overthrown, so no flag on the play.
Michael Briscoe on the coverage there, not allowing Oski to get open and just staying to him like a fly on sticky paper, you know?
Yes, the sticky paper.
Yeah, and Lavelle Bailey, that's just a case of the quarterback throwing before the wide receiver was open. He decided he was going with that route as soon as he had the ball. Didn't wait for the receiver to get open.
Yeah, maybe so trying to throw him open there.
Can't blame him. Got to take a shot downfield.
Yeah, well defended on the play as he hands off to Fisalau, who gets tripped up in the backfield for no gain. That'll bring it to 4th and 1.
That was 4th down.
4th down.
Connor McClellan and Clayton Watterson ganged up on that tackle of Fisalau. And I thought that would be the play on 3rd down because it's 3rd down and 1. You would expect that. Fisalau has been really limited in this first half for the Titans. He has not got a lot going. And with his power and 3rd down and 1, you'd expect, to run the ball.
Yeah.
But they went Seattle Seahawks and decided to pass it.
Yeah, well, maybe, a little misdirection there, too, of the defense, trying to take advantage of something down the field. I mean, take a shot. I wonder if Fisalau was maybe hampered by something earlier in the game as the Bulldogs hand off to number 2, Dylan Warfield, who takes it up the middle in traffic for a gain of 3, maybe? 3 or 4 yards?
Some minimal gain there on 1st down.
3 yards. That'll make it 2nd down and 7 yards to go.
Yeah, this is about as much time as the Bulldogs need to get another scoring drive in.
Oh, and a quick handoff.
I believe that's Island.
Is that Island? I couldn't quite see in the traffic.
Yeah, that's Island with the inside handoff. Yeah, they've been really rotating that well. With Watterson and Island, that combination has done excellent for the Bulldogs.
A great 1-2 punch for Vacaville. Devin Mills lined out wide left. And a reverse to number 32. Abramowicz still on his feet, bouncing around.
That was just pretty funny. The 52 got in the way of Meniku. Meniku got in the way of Abramowicz, and Abramowicz stiff-armed his own teammate to get the space he needed for the 1st down. That's an interesting play there. Man, what? If you're a fan of blocking, if you watch that last play, that was a clinic on how to set an edge on the outside.
Absolutely. Abramowicz able to get out there fairly easily behind that blocking. Set the snap. It's a handoff to Island.
Straight up the gut there. Nothing much for him. About a gain of 2 or 3 on the play.
Here we take a look at that run-around play by Abramowicz. Delayed handoff. Sets the edge. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Number 52, Menico. Looked like he was coming back to set another block, and all of a sudden his runner was right there.
Right in his hip pocket.
Hey, how you doing?
So it's third down for the Bulldogs after it was a short run there from, I believe it was Dylan Warfield. Sets up this 3rd and 8. The Falcons do have 2 timeouts with 1:40 left, so maybe try to get in field goal range.
Another delayed handoff. Looks like this time to Dylan Warfield. Takes it up the middle. Doesn't look like it's enough for a first down. I think it'll be about 4th and 2.
And I think they'll keep the punter on the sidelines. And go
They
for that.
indeed will. As Brandon Talton is not out there, Devin Mills in to give the play call to Villalobos.
Devin Mills lining up wide left. See what Vacaville does here. 2 backs. Oh, a hard count.
Fell for it again.
Yeah, it's pulling number 50, Rodolfo Gutierrez, off sides there on the right-hand edge of the defense.
You're kind of just stepping on your own toes there with a penalty like that.
Vacaville taking advantage of the aggressiveness of Burbank. It's still the first half, so I wouldn't say desperation mode, but they're definitely trying to make some plays on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to get out of the halftime without their deficit increasing. So
40-8. I think they're in panic mode. They're pressing the red button right now. We have to stop the bleeding.
Oh. Pitch out to Warfield. Oh, and he's taken down by Bailey. What a great open field tackle there by Bailey. Oh, and there's a flag.
yeah, maybe there's a
I believe
block
it was
in
a
the
horse
back.
collar.
Or was it? Oh, we'll see.
Let's see what the official says. On Vacaville.
Looks like they're calling him back.
Looks like Bailey might be a little shaken up after that tackle.
Yeah, there's a couple times that were slow to get up. 22 were into the sideline. Malik Trice, as well as Genesis Finau. A little slow to get up from the field. Yeah, and I believe there was a block in the back or a hold on the outside as he's now,
I pushed him back pretty far.
yeah, 46-yard line.
First and
22.
Yeah. They have a long way to go for this one. I believe the Bulldogs will just run it out and get out of this first half. With the
Legal
score they
block
have.
in the back, the official call. Reverse, given to number 3, Nick Smith, and he is tackled.
Yeah, almost suplexed.
Yeah.
Try to get some aggression out there. Taniela Fisalau.
Yeah, Fitzalau was not having it on that play.
It's like he's been practicing a little bit of WWE right there.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh. Back, deep throw, and it's overthrown to Nick Smith.
And they're trying to take a shot.
Villalobos, a little too much on that one. That would have been a touchdown for sure.
And that's why really Vacaville doesn't want to rely on their passing offense. Their quarterbacks, Villalobos is just a junior, his first year in the system. They tend not to have the most accurate of passers.
Quick handoff to number 22, Chris Island, takes it around the right-hand side and is finally brought down at about the 30.
I believe that will be it for the first half.
Yeah, so Island gets a nice chunk to add to his stat line, to his impressive stat line. 2 touchdowns for Island, and the Bulldogs lead 40-8. So, fellas, this has been really impressive for Vacaville. After Burbank started off hot with an 8-0 lead, 40 unanswered points from the Bulldogs. Miles, what does Burbank have to do in the second half?
They need a Red Bull. They need energy right now. And this team, they came out with a lot of energy from the snap. But coming into that second quarter, they just ran out of gas, simply.
Yeah, I think Burbank, that's getting a well-needed breather right here for the halftime, and I look for them to come out aggressive in the second half. They're going to start off on defense, and I look for them to be swarming on this running game of Vacaville's.
And for Vacaville on the other side, we talked about the storyline of Coach Pop wanting to test his depth. Now's a perfect opportunity. 32-point lead going into halftime. Maybe you give some guys on your bench a chance to make a play and play in front of their home crowd. Get that energy and get that playing time that is needed to increase your depth. So we will see what happens in the second half when we come back with this contest between the Burbank Titans and the Vacaville Bulldogs, with the Bulldogs leading 40-8.
The exponential growth from the program from my first year to my third year now, that's what keeps me coming back and keeps me excited and just like fulfills me as a person.
It's so impressive, and we every time we walk in here, you guys are doing something different. It's great. It's
nothing but opportunities here, and we have sports to cover, we have the equipment.
Because the more ambitious you are, the more opportunities you'll have.
On-the-job training is huge.
Get the hands-on experience.
When someone asks who can do it, you can raise your hand and say, I can do it. So
Joining the class was the best decision I ever made.
We're going to go to cut one. And cut one. Cross court to Audrey Jones. Audrey for three. And it's good! With 1.3 seconds left on the game clock. Audrey Jones with one of the biggest shots ever.
the sky's the limit, really, with what we can do here.
And we're back here to start off the second half. Vacaville Bulldogs will be kicking off to the Burbank Titans. And Burbank looked like that halftime might have did that some good and maybe come out with a little bit more energy here in the second half.
And just to follow up on an injury to number 75, they're currently taping up his left ankle on the sideline, so it looks like his afternoon will be done. And actually, Burbank is kicking off to Vacaville.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen Vacaville's return game, obviously, with only the one touchdown scored by the Titans. So we'll see who, if maybe Chris Smith has some exciting plays in the kick return game.
Yeah, it
as
looks
well.
like Adrian Cabezas is back there to receive as well.
And just to piggyback up on those injuries, Quincy Wilson, I believe, was carted off the field, and I think he's done for the night as well.
Yeah, very.
Quincy Wright. I apologize.
Yeah, very tough game so far, injury-wise, for the Titans. Yeah, we saw him icing his hip.
Samata with a low kick. Picked up by number 42, Clayton Watterson, and he's taken down at about the 33-yard line, 34-yard line.
Yeah, I forgot about the kicking game of the Titans, that they weren't really going to kick it deep to the deep backs.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Samate there almost with like a onside kick.
Yeah. Little squib kick to start out the second half. And if this score holds up in the fourth quarter, they do have running clocks in high school football when there is a substantial lead. So I think the goal for Vacaville is to keep it at this sort of deficit that the Burbank Titans are at right now, and maybe add to it.
Oh, and a handoff. Look like to Chris Island. Took it to the left side for a gain of about 3.
And Island and Watterson were the two really good fullbacks for the Vacaville Bulldogs in this offense.
And I believe the Bulldogs pulled Villalobos out the game and put in Preston Alonzo to play quarterback for them.
Yeah, and that's a good move by Coach Pop. And I talked about the depth, having a third quarterback definitely.
Oh, and the ball's on the ground. Oh, Bailey almost had it. He still might have been able to fall on it, but it looked like it was might be a grab and run. Looks like Vacaville might have been able to hold on to it.
Yeah, and I think Bailey realizes the missed opportunity there to pick up the ball and get the first turnover for Burbank, which definitely would have been a good momentum boost.
Well, when you're down by this much, anything helps. And the fumble right there, that's a huge opportunity for this team, just for a confidence and momentum booster for them to just feel like they have the ability to get something on the board for themselves.
See if the Titans could take advantage of the new quarterback in there for Vacaville. Looks like a handoff to Abramowicz. There we go.
Yeah, and he slipped there on that jet sweep. I was wondering if they were going to maybe have Preston Alonso try to throw the ball, but they did not. You know, the Burbank sidelines having some fun.
Substitution out, number 26, Carlos Madrigal coming in for Bailey.
It's a little race on the Burbank side.
And the punt is, looked like it might have been partially blocked. It looked like somebody on the sideline for Vacaville tried to receive that and run it.
I think it was Watterson, number 42. And Taunton did a great job of good awareness to really speed up his kick because there was some pressure coming in at him, and they're going to pick up the flag.
Yeah, lucky to get it off in time. Almost thought it might have been tipped just a little bit the way it wobbled through the air.
So great field position for the Titans. See if they can capitalize here at the 45-yard line.
Looks
Actually,
like
46.
Edward Ossie lined out wide left for the Titans. Bailey back to receive the snap. Oh, and it's a low snap. Bailey grabs it, picks it up, starts to run, and is stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Michael Brown on that tackle, just blowing the play up, being able to get to Bailey and stop him before he could get his momentum going.
Yeah, Michael Brown and Nash Clegg, two names we called a lot for the Vacaville Bulldogs defensive line, have done a great job all game long of creating pressure in the backfield on both passing plays and run plays.
Yeah, Bailey stopped for no gain on that play. Looks like he'll be back to take the snap again. Ossie lined up left. The snap. Oh, fake handoff. And a look down the left-hand side to Ossie, and it's underthrown.
That is Nick Smith on the interception there, playing that ball perfectly in the air as a DB should.
Yeah, you got a second chance there. There was an identical play happened in the end zone in the first half, and it was tipped by Nick Smith.
Well, I believe there's a flag on the play. It might be a late hit there.
Yeah,
on
roughing the passer.
Yeah, it looks like Bailey is hobbled, and it could contribute to that underthrown ball because he had Ossie actually if he would have hit him in stride.
Yeah, his throwing shoulder got hit as he threw, and his right arm is still extended. So I think he popped his shoulder out of his socket.
Oh,
because they're yanking on that thing to try to set it.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
So hope you're not squeamish, folks, as 51 is down as well for Burbank. And
that is Michael Knox. The guard for the Titans is shaking up on the play as well.
And so now you see him testing the range of motion of his shoulder, Lavelle Bailey, after I believe you said he sustained a concussion against Sheldon.
He did against Sheldon last week. Cleared protocol to play in this game.
And now followed up, and he got hit right on that throwing shoulder as he released the ball by one of the Bulldog defenders. So tough afternoon, tough night.
Yeah, once play resumes, it looks like Titans don't quite realize they've got the ball all the way up on the Vacaville 40-yard line for 1st and 10 after that penalty.
Yeah, benefits of roughing the passer is you get 15 yards.
See if the banged-up Titans could build some momentum off of that penalty.
So they'll go Wildcat with Daniel in the backfield, Darius Daniel.
Fisala'u motioned out.
Play.
Offsides, it looks like it's going to be called against the Bulldogs. Back-to-back penalties if it is.
And it's a good sign Michael Knox back out there for the Titans, as Duke Washington Finau was out there momentarily. And Lavelle Bailey, man, give credit to the kid for the toughness.
Hats off to him. In this game of football, you have to be mentally tough, and to make it to that next level, a lot of guys don't have it. But just to see it from him being able to get back out on that field.
Looks like Darius Daniel is going to be back to take the snap. Bailey lined up in the slot to the right. Aussie and Daniel. Oh, and it's thrown to number 12, Aussie. Goes around the left, lowers the shoulder.
He will drill
Travion
Darty on that play.
And it's an interesting play call. Those wide receiver bubble screens, I think they work great against man. And that zone defense, though, where, the Bulldogs have a responsibility to that flat, then, you get a nice 7-yard gain, but you're not going to get that big play like you would in a man-to-man defense.
Yeah, it's difficult to block when they're in zone. Daniel back to take the snap again, and it goes to Fisala'u. Oh, excuse me. Is that?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that is Fisala'u for a short gain.
You got to believe the Bulldogs really game plan for that running back coming into the game. 300 yards in his 2 games coming in. Definitely has not made the impact he has in his previous 2 games.
Really just the workhorse for this Titans offense, just being able to carry that ball and just really carry this team so far. But as of tonight, the Bulldogs offense is just all over it.
Yeah, it looks like Bailey lined up wide left is still kind of hampered. Really banged up.
They did get a first down, though, on that play. So they moved the chains.
Yeah, if the Titans could keep the ball moving here as Bailey moves in motion to the right side. A fake handoff. Darius Wright. Oh, nice move. Brings the ball up to the 26-yard line, and there's a flag on the play. Let's see what it's called. Oh, looks like chop block on the Titans.
Yeah, and we'll check out that last play by Darius Daniel on the replay, see if we can see where the chop block occurred. Anybody went high-low?
I didn't see it.
Well, on that run, Darius Daniels with a little bit of can't touch me with that little stop and juke move.
Yeah, I don't really know
where that infraction occurred, but
brings it to 1st and 20 for the Titans, marching them all the way back. It's unfortunate and not exactly sure what happened, what the officials saw.
Yeah, and interesting, Daniel went with that hesitation move where Lavelle Bailey did that in the first half and got popped from behind. So lucky Daniel didn't get the same treatment.
Yeah, high risk, high reward.
Yeah, Daniel in the backfield with Fisala'u. Daniel looks back to throw, looking at Bailey down the left line, and it's just out of bounds. Bailey actually with a little push off there on Nick Smith. And the ball just overthrown. Yeah, Bailey's not moving very good on those legs, and it's kind of affecting his receiving.
Nick Smith looking a little shaken up on that play as well.
Yeah, shaking his hand.
Yeah.
And Darius Daniel went with the double move, try to pump fake a curl route and try to get some separation from Bailey, but great discipline from Nick Smith to stay in great inside leverage on that coverage.
And that wide receiver cornerback matchup, that is a trench fight itself. You got to be able to use your hands and get physical with the receiver just to affect his route running skills and being able to play that ball. It really affects the play.
Wright takes a snap. Looks left, looks right. Oh, throws just high. Ball's tipped.
Right off the hands of Smith there. Trying to make a play on the ball. A little bit of too much gas on that pass there.
Brings up 3rd and 25 to go.
I believe there's somebody down for the Titans. They're trying to assist
Edward Aussie going to limp off the field.
That'll bring in number 6. We don't have a name for number 6 to sub in for Aussie.
And Edward Aussie was the intended receiver on that play there, so you assume he must have went down a little funny on that leg.
So 3rd and 25. What do you draw up here, fellas?
I would actually look for something, maybe a slant across the middle and take advantage a little bit of this zone. But everybody seems on the Titans to be a little banged up. Let's see if they can get some motion.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Steven. I believe that middle is open for the Bulldogs. The Titans just have to take
Daniel
advantage
takes
of
a
it.
snap. evades the pass rush, gets caught, and it's a loss of about 3 yards, unfortunately. That'll bring up 4th and 28.
Yeah, the problem with those long developing go routes is that it needs protection, and when the Bulldogs can get that pressure in the backfield, it's a recipe success for the Bulldogs defense.
You got to emphasize time on a play like that, and just a pack of Bulldogs came in there and just brought him down for the loss.
So in 4th and forever,
yes,
the Titans are going to punt.
Stalemate back to punt. Let's see how he does with a snap, see if they can get the playoff. Number 26, Carlos Madrigal, running in to help block. And there's a flag on the play.
I believe it's legal substitution.
So Madrigal coming back off the field. That'll back the Titans back even more to 4th and 37, maybe 32.
Yeah,
4th and a
32.
lot. 4th and a lot for Burbank.
First down's at the 20-yard line. Stand at the 48, their own 48.
Samate get the snap, the kick, and it's high to the right. It's going to bounce. Oh, take a fortunate bounce for Burbank as they down the ball at about the 6-yard line.
Great punt by Samate.
Yeah, fantastic. Play maybe a little bit of the field game here.
Hopefully Burbank can take advantage of that field position they're blessed with there.
And wow, 75 is back in the ball game.
Defensive tackle rubbed some dirt in it and is back out there to give it a go. I really got you got to admire Burbank here. I mean, they're definitely undermanned and they're really playing with a lot of heart today. And even though, you know, the score doesn't look very favorable for them, they're out there giving it their all on every play like it was a tied game.
In this game of football, it's not about how many players you guys, it's about how much heart you guys have. And as you can see, Burbank is for surely showing they have heart this game.
That was Taniela Facilau on the tackle there with Bailey. Even though Bailey's a little banged up, he's playing a linebacker position. He's right in there, nose down on the tackle.
And I believe that was a first carry for the younger Abramowitz brother, Kyler, number 24. As the backup, Preston Alonso, is back out there.
Vacaville down. Delayed handoff to the left-hand side. Short gain for Vacaville.
Yeah, again, Kyler Abramowitz. We've seen talent in this game as well, his older brother. So after a couple short gains, 3rd and 6.
Right now, Vacaville's just being real conservative, running the ball, keeping it on the ground, and just really trying to play safe with it, not turn it over, make any risky plays.
Yeah, that's the beauty of having such a stout running game, is that it's great for controlling the clock. When you're in this position, you can just run down the clock quite literally.
Yeah.
So he'll almost get that first down.
Yeah, it looks close.
But so far in their own territory, they'll definitely use Taunton to punt here on 4th and 2. So really that punt by Samate does its job, pinning the Bulldogs deep in their own territory, not able to get any sort of traction on that drive.
Yeah,
so
Darius Daniel back to receive this punt, and the Titans could come away with some pretty good field position here. As a very short punt, only out to about the 35 of the Bulldogs, so some great field position here for Burbank.
I think Taunton's a better kicker than he is a punter. It doesn't really have the same amount of distance when he's punting from.
Yeah, I agree.
Kicking.
It was a pretty punt. It just didn't go very far.
Yeah.
Well, when you're scoring as fast as Vacaville does, he really doesn't have to worry about putting the ball much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a game where you're not going to be as aggressive anymore with a 32-point lead, but Coach Papadopoulos is known for his aggression as well, so he would go for it on fourth down a lot of times in a punting situation. So punting, not the most dire of needs for the Vacaville Bulldogs.
Looks like Aussie lined up wide left, right, lined up wide out right. Bailey going to take the snap.
They only had 10 men out there.
Yeah, they're only playing with, I think, 14 or 15 guys. Bailey looking deep to the left. And that is Michael Briscoe on that interception. Careful, we get a flag for celebration.
Heck of a play there. Just a bad throw by Bailey, and you can't really blame him.
So we'll check out that throw by Bailey on the overthrow. He's in shotgun. He's going to be looking for number 6 on that. Oh, actually, overthrows that go route.
And Briscoe just fields the ball perfectly, almost as if he's receiving a punt or a kick. He just goes down, makes a basket, and fields the ball perfectly, and that is an interception.
Might have been better if Bailey would have went all the way to the outside to Aussie out there. Looked like he had a couple steps on Briscoe, and Briscoe able to curl around to the inside and make an easy play.
Well, Bailey on that bad shoulder.
Yeah, bad shoulder, bad leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to believe it affects his accuracy.
Absolutely. Little delayed handoff. Number 28, Travion Darden breaking down the left-hand side, breaks a couple tackles, and he's still going. Aussie with the late tackle to save a touchdown. But Travion Darden takes it all the way to the 46-yard line or so of the Titans.
And once Darden broke that play off outside, he just puts on the Jets and simply just burns the Titans defense. Bailey just being the last safety valve they had to make that tackle.
Yeah, so a 52-yard gain officially as they'll spot out the 44. So not bad for your backup running back to rip off a 52-yarders.
Yeah.
And we'll check out this long run by Darden on this first handoff of this drive. Just fake the inside handoff that opens out the outside as, again, great blocking downfield by the Bulldogs, and Darden was on his horse.
Got to give it up for Edward Aussie there because he really turned on the burners and saved a touchdown.
Yeah, the hustle of these Titans can't be questioned, I think, with the heart that they're showing and the toughness of how physically demanding this game has been. And they're still battling, albeit, maybe not the exact same energy as earlier in the game, but, they're still trying out there.
Looks like Bailey hobbled off and needed a substitution there as number 23 Martin comes in to fill in.
Give credit to our cameraman Jacob there on the sideline, getting a shot of Bailey coming off right up in his grill.
Oh, run around to the right-hand side. Looks like number 25 Logan Cunningham now in the game.
And we should give a shout-out to our crew. This is our first game of the season as well, 2018. Got Lindsay, Robert, Jacob down on the field, Brandon working as a grip, and, of course, Craig Poff working the main camera, as well as Robert Quintero, our producer, and Nate on the scoreboard. So we appreciate all of our new squad for the 2018 season for the Salon College Sports Network. Obviously, Stephen Babb, Miles Perry, myself, Brian Nelson here, calling the game here in Tom Zunino Stadium for Vacaville football.
Quick handoff there to number 24, Kyler Abramowitz. Looks like he was able to get enough for a first down there, bringing the ball down to the 28-yard line.
So another player down.
Looks like number 5, Daniela Fisalau, shaking up on the play. Staying out there, though. Still going to be checked out real quick by the training staff of the Titans.
Quick water break for both teams. And make sure you guys stay hydrated. It is still summer. It is 87 degrees, but chilling outside.
Yeah, looks like they're making a substitution for Fisalau. He doesn't look very happy about it, but it'll be good for him to get a breather.
So 2 minutes, 18 seconds and counting in this third quarter. Vacaville with a 32-point lead as we inch closer and closer to the fourth quarter. Again, valuable reps for the backups for the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Vacaville running to the line. Kyle Brenowitz taking it to the left for a couple yards. Score here in Vacaville at the Tom Zunino Stadium. Your Vacaville Bulldogs 40 and the Burbank Titans with 8.
Yeah, so scoreless second half, as that was your score at halftime, with Burbank scoring first in this ball game, 8-0. We thought, man, this is gonna be an offensive shootout, but Vacaville's done a great job of just being consistent both sides of the ball. Defense, they have forced 3 fumbles and capitalized on all 3 of those turnovers with touchdowns.
Site number 10, Preston Alonzo taking a snap. Oh, and a quick handoff.
I think that's a Bromwich once again. Getting those reps that his brother would get. You know, you got to groom the younger brother to fill in the older brother's shoes once he graduates.
There you go. And he's doing a great job of just keeping it between the tackles and, you know, picking up a few yards here, a few yards there, and keeping the clock running for Vacaville.
We're running like that. He might be coming for his brother's spot later on in the season.
Yeah, he's
sibling rivalry.
Yeah, he's showing well here in the first game, and you know sometimes that's all you need from your back is just to pick up a few yards here and there and stay between the tackles.
Yeah,
but it lowers his head and really gets through there.
And I think this should be probably the last play of the third quarter.
Oh, great stand up by the and the ball pops loose. A great job there by the Titans defense to stand up the runner. Stop him for what looked like maybe no gain, maybe a yard.
Yeah, that defensive line got low for the Burbank Titans and lifted the ball carrier up. So it'll force a fourth down.
Yeah, the front line there for the Titans is impressive, the way that they're able to get in there and get it done for the most part. It's been mostly the runs to the outside that kind of has hurt them this game, but everything in the middle there seems to cover up pretty well.
And so that will be the fourth quarter here in Solana College Sports Network's presentation of Vacaville football. Burbank Titans trail 40-8. And fellas, I think Coach Papadopoulos couldn't have drawn this one up any better. It really has gotten all he could ask for from his running game, getting 5 rushing touchdowns and a special teams touchdown from Nick Smith. So a really stellar outing, and defensively after giving up that first touchdown has steadied the ship and held them scoreless since. Really impressive stuff from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it is a boxing match, football. It really is, and Vacaville got hit in the mouth, but they said we're here to fight. So they kept pushing and being a how can I say, proactive, I guess. Just fighting their way through this game.
Yeah, the Bulldogs definitely took that first hit on the chin and really stayed in the game and answered right back with a touchdown right away, and they haven't looked back since.
And they're inching closer and closer to the red zone, which really favors their offense as they try to add on to this lead. And in the fourth quarter, Brandon Talton will be queuing up a field goal attempt from 39 yards out. Got a little bit of wind picking up here at Vacaville.
I think it might be in his favor.
He's definitely hoping so.
Yeah, let's see what Talton can do from here. We haven't seen him attempt a field goal much here in this game. The kick is up, and it looks like wide left.
Yeah, so just hooked it.
It had the power to it, just couldn't get it through the uprights.
Yeah, an impressive foot there.
Yeah, that's the key with Talton. He has plenty of leg strength. You can tell he's athletic in the art of kicking a football, but it's just a matter of accuracy. And that's kind of what you expect in the high school level, is that it's really hard to find a really good, accurate kicker.
And if you do, it's a gift.
It is, because I mean, it's cliche, but a lot of times it's true where 3 phases of football, you want to win 2 of them. And special teams is one of those 3 phases. If you get the advantage in that, then you just got to win 1 more, right? So having that special teams advantage.
I will
is
say I was
important.
impressed with that touchdown-saving tackle he made earlier in the game down the right-hand side, where it looked like Darius Daniel was going to take it to the house after that kickoff, and he really did make a good play on that. I was impressed.
Yeah, that's just effort. You don't. Some kickers would just olay and just let that that guy run by him.
Looks like Bailey back to take the snap. Fisalau moving out, motion. Darius Daniel taking it. Oh, and he stopped in the backfield for a loss of 2. A little bit of a jet sweep reverse there.
And that's just a good job by Jaden Jones on the outside. Once again, just the discipline of these outside defensive linemen to get pressure up the field in order to stop those ball carriers in the backfield before they even cross the line of scrimmage for losses.
And that has been the story of this game. Vacaville's DN's just been able to get off the ball and just stop the run before it really gets started.
It looks like a go route down the left-hand side. Aussie there to make the catch. Oh, and he juggles it, and he still keeps it. Oh, my gosh, what a catch by number 21. Oh, excuse me, 21. No, number 12.
Yeah.
Edward Aussie on that play. Fantastic juggling catch.
Yeah, great concentration to stay with that one. On his back, he kept fighting for the ball, and he came down with that impressive reception. And we'll show a replay of that big play for the Titans as it kind of fluttered out of the hand of the quarterback, Bailey. But 1 tip, 2 tips, 3 tips, and finally secures it.
And as a coach, you kind of just want him to catch it on the first one, but he'll take that any day.
Absolutely, especially in this game with this score. Maybe this will ignite the Titans' offense and see if they can get something going here in the 4th quarter. Bailey steps back, and he looks deep again on another go route. Oh, and it's incomplete, just too much traffic, almost intercepted.
Yeah, and sometimes those underthrown balls cause pass interference because, the defenders are trying to come back and play the ball, and the wide receiver is actually in their way because it's so badly underthrown. But there, it just falls short of 2 different Titan receivers. And so I think they're just going to stay this aggressive for the rest of the game. You might as well. There's a running clock on. You're down by 30+. You might as well try to put some points on the board.
And just taking shots to the end zone, might as well at this point in the game.
Yeah, air it out a little bit. Bailey looks left and starts running. Cocks the ball, throws back. Darius Daniel there, and a flag for pass interference. That was a great play there by Daniel.
And they'll get Jeremiah Brown on that pass interference call there, getting his hands on the receiver before the ball could land and touch his hands.
Well, it looked like a nice comeback route. Maybe the ball was a little underthrown, but it gave Daniel the opportunity to turn and try to make a play and actually kind of cause that pass interference there.
Yeah, so a benefit for the Titans offense is that will get them a fresh set of downs.
And I bet they wish this was the NFL where a pass interference is a spotting call instead of a 15-yard penalty, but they'll still take the yardage.
Absolutely. Seems our scoreboard is a little broken down there. Stuck on 2nd down and nothing for a long time. But now the ball's spotted on the 25 of Vacaville. Burbank set to take a snap. Bailey in the backfield with Fisalau. Fisalau takes the ball, curls around to the right, escapes 1 tackle, but then gets stopped for a gain of 2.
Yeah, great tackle there by Daniel Valentine. And, yeah, if I've known anything from my few years of broadcasting here at Vacaville, don't always trust the scoreboard. Scoreboard lies sometimes.
But the score is correct. It's still 40-8, but yes, the Titans here are looking to make a little bit of a run here in the 4th quarter.
I think they've just given up down the distance, Board off is just like, this game's over.
Quick throw out to Daniel. Daniel makes 1 move, breaks inside, goes, there's a flag, and he's taken down at the 11-yard line. It's a great move there by Darius Daniel.
There's yet another Titan down. Or 51. Yeah, we saw him down earlier.
Michael Knox banged up again on the play.
You hate to see that when a guy tries to tough it out and is unable to, get the luck on his side to stay healthy throughout the rest of the game.
And this has just been the story of the game. Injuries, injuries, injuries. It's sad to see, but this team, they have a lot of fight in them. They don't let it stop them.
Here's another look at the Darius Daniel catch in the backfield and what he was able to do with it. Bailey quick out to the left. Darius puts one move, breaks a tackle, breaks to the inside. One more tackle, and is finally brought down at the 11-yard line. Didn't quite see where the flag was.
Yeah, I think it was a hold on the outside of number 24. It looked like he was holding the outside arm of the corner, trying to hold him back from making a tackle there in the open field.
As you can see, the officials are not giving up anything this game still.
Yeah. At least that's all you can ask for is consistency with referees. Some refs would just be like, yeah, the game's over. Do I really have to throw a penalty here? But, if you would throw it in the first, throw it in the fourth.
Yeah, that's right. Edward Ossie lined out wide right. 2 in formation to the left. Bailey back to take the snap. Last minute substitution, number 41, Nick Guardalo for the Bulldogs. Bailey set to take the snap, hike. Looks left, looks right, down the center. Oh, overthrows Darius Daniel for what would have been an easy walk-in touchdown. Just overthrown.
A little bit too much gas on that throw right there.
Yeah, it was a great route there from the receiver.
Absolutely, looked like just a little inside post route. Would have liked to see more of that earlier in the game from the Titans. I think they would be in a lot better position if they would have gone that way.
Yeah, I think those routes are open in this coverage, just to really put pressure on the defensive backs in that zone to have a couple different routes down the middle of the field. But
yeah, it looks like Michael Knox over on the sideline, still banged up, trying to shake it off, but I don't know if the coaches are going to let him go back in.
Yeah, sometimes you have to protect the player from themselves.
Yes, Ossie in motion on the right. Looks like a go route, and the ball is underthrown. Oh, my goodness. What a catch off the cornerback's hands. Ossie stayed with it for the touchdown.
King of the tip drill. We saw earlier that big play, and there it gets the fortunate bounce off the defender's hands, and we'll check out that Burbank touchdown on the replay.
And at the end of that play, Bailey got drilled. Clearly a roughing the passer call.
Oh, absolutely. He got knocked by, it looked like maybe number 35, Andrew Benson.
And Reed Digman, the safety back for the Bulldogs, couldn't make a play on that pass.
The concentration, the concentration of Ossie to stay with that underthrown ball and still make the catch, that's just incredible.
Right off the hands of a defender.
Yeah, yeah, because you would expect him with such an underthrown ball to just give up on it and, just give up on the play, but he didn't. He gave it a chance, and it worked out in his favor.
Looks like wide spread out offense here. Bailey takes it, gives it to Fisala'u, and he pulls his way in for the 2-point conversion. What a run there by Taniela Fisala'u.
Yeah, and still going for 2-point conversions, and it's going to be just short, actually.
Oh, it looked like he might have got it.
Yeah, it was definitely a close play for Fisala'u. Tried to extend over the end zone for the extra 2 points, but unable to do so. And so the Burbank offense will have to settle for the 14 points. And this game is definitely winding to its conclusion.
2 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the fourth quarter at Tom Zunino Stadium.
That's the good thing about the running clock, is that when it's a clear, decisive victory for one team, it's, especially in this physical game for the Titans, I think it's better for them to kind of get this fourth quarter, moving along with the running clock.
Good for us, too.
Yeah. And with that roughing the passer call, that penalty is being enforced on the kickoff, so Stalemate kicking from the 45-yard line.
Looks like a last-minute move off. Too many guys on the field for the Titans. A little confusion on the sideline before Stalemate makes his kick.
Yeah, once they kick, they'll probably kneel down a couple times and call it a game.
Number 58, Antonio Farinius going in there. Stalemate set to kick. Down to 1:35. Titans kick off. Oh, and it's the best kickoff of the game for Stalemate out of the back of the end zone. Clock still running here, down to 1:20. The Vacaville Bulldogs at 40. The Titans now at 14. And it looks like that might be the ending score of this game as the clock continues to run, down to a minute left now. Ball spotted at the 20 for Vacaville. Looks like they might take their time getting out onto the field to wind down as much of the clock as they can before lining up on offense.
Yeah, I think it'll be probably one kneel down, maybe two.
As you can see, I think they will line up in the victory formation here. Vacaville will claim their first win of the season, I believe.
Yeah, first win.
That'll bring Vacaville's record to 1-2 as the Titans fall to 0-3. And there's a flag on that running play.
Ooh.
They decided not to kneel. Let's see what happened here. See what the official ruling is.
Well, it doesn't quite matter because the game's over anyway. So
and at 10 seconds left,
they can deliberate all they want.
Yeah, they're going to let it run down.
Both teams will line up at the 50 to shake hands after a hard-fought game for both teams. Here.
There's the final sound for the game here in Vacaville at Tom Zanuno Stadium, where the Vacaville Bulldogs hosted the Burbank Titans. The Bulldogs will walk away with a record of 1-2 after a score of 40-14, and the Titans will drop to 0-3 on the season. Brian, what's your takeaway from this game today?
I think this is prototypical Vacaville football. What they want to do as a football philosophy is dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, offensive line and defensive line. Offensive line opened up great holes for the running backs. Clayton Watterson, Chris Island, as well as Dylan Warfield, 5 rushing touchdowns on the offensive side. And the defensive side, we saw what sort of pressure they had with Nash Clegg and number 88, Michael Brown, causing havoc in the backfield all evening long for the Bulldogs defense.
And Miles, what did you think about Burbank and Vacaville on today's game?
Both teams came in high expectations. In the beginning of the game, Vacaville came out a little bit not Vacaville-like, and Burbank took advantage of that. But eventually, Burbank ran out of gas due to limited amount of players, I believe, and Vacaville just took advantage of that. And simply here, they ran off with the game.
Yeah, for the Burbank Titans, it was difficult to get any substitutions in and out. Looked like they were running with 15 players today in their lineup, and really only about 11 because due to injuries, some were in and out, and it was making substitutions really difficult. A lot of the guys were having to play banged up on the field, but you really got to give it to Teniale Fisala'u, Darius Daniel, Edward Ossie, and Lavelle Bailey. They were fantastic in today's game, and I think if they were given maybe a little bit more of a chance to catch their breath, all these players were playing on both sides of the ball, and I think they really did a fantastic job. There's no reason to hang their head at all, even though if you look at the score at 40-14, you know, they were very much in their first 2 games, still playing with a limited roster. I believe they started the season with 21 players. Last game they went in with 15. 3 went down to injury, including Bailey, who suffered a concussion. Looked like earlier in this game he may have dislocated his shoulder and still went back out on the very next play, as well as banged up his legs. Yeah, so that's my takeaway from today's game. The Vacaville Bulldogs play a very fast, very quick-paced running game, and for the Burbank Titans, you know, they do a nice spread-out offense. They got a lot of fast players, pretty good arms when Daniel's in there at quarterback, and it's a nice 1-2 punch between Darius Daniel and Lavelle Bailey. But that's going to do it for us here tonight in Vacaville. For Solano College Sports Network with Brian Nelson, Miles Perry, I'm Stephen Babb, and tune in next time for Vacaville's game at home in another 2 weeks. Thank you very much.